Hi, welcome back to my channel. So today we are talking about Malcolm in the Middle, Life is Still Unfair. I watched this on Friday when it was released and I do have some thoughts on it. So for context, I enjoy the original show a lot. I haven't seen every episode of the original just because I tend to fall asleep. It's my bedtime program. But since it kind of feels a bit like The Simpsons and like Family Guy to an extent, you can kind of come and go in the episodes and not miss stuff but miss stuff, if you get me. It kind of works. So that's the context of where I've watched the original show, and me and my partner jumped into this and we watched all 4 episodes back to back, so just basically like one long movie, which I think was the original idea until they decided to make it 4 episodes. And I don't think it was bad. Okay, so my thoughts are it wasn't terrible, but I don't think it was great either. And I know from what I've read online, there's a lot of mixed reviews on it. Some people do really love it. Fair play. There is lots of good elements to it. But then there are also fans that probably lean more to where I stand on it, which is it had so many good points, but then missed so many bits as well. So the cast that came back and everything, absolutely great. They can clearly jump back into these characters flawlessly, which is brilliant. Love it. The new characters, Kelly and Leah, I actually really liked. Okay, I always forget to do this. Spoiler. This review will probably have spoilers, so I'd probably jump off at this point, go watch it, and come back to the video when you've watched it all, because basically my overall is I enjoyed watching it once, probably won't revisit it. So take that as you will. Anyway, so yeah, the new characters, I liked the dynamic between Malcolm and his daughter. I kind of liked the fact that he's the complete opposite to his family. He's a single dad of 1 daughter as opposed to a nuclear family of like 6,000 children. Sorry, there was a dog outside. Got distracted. So I liked that like jarringness, and I did actually like at the end of the first episode, you find out that basically Malcolm has been completely hiding from his parents and hiding the fact he had a daughter. Also, nice little twist. I did enjoy that. The other little the other little detail I liked is Malcolm's daughter also breaks the fourth wall on a very Ferris Bueller's Day Off kind of vibe, and I actually really liked that, like that twist and the new generation of it. So all great points. Reese, genuinely still amazing. Found him hilarious, honestly. Really enjoyed Reese and his little storylines. But I think overall for me, all of them did their notes really well. They all did their storylines well. But I think it feels like 4 episodes of side quests and no real main storyline. There is a main storyline, but they're all doing it so segmented off in their own areas that they're not. The show worked before with a family chemistry back and forth. And yes, there'd be like B plots, but it just felt like 4 episodes of B plots. That ended with a big climax of them all being at an anniversary party, and I think they could have had more build up. And I personally think they should have been 9 to 12 episodes long, which I was referring to that as like a mini series in itself, when it's not these days. That is actually just a series. They should have done 1 season, in my opinion, and done a build-up, have a couple of episodes where they're all estranged and then they're all in their own lives, but then they all come back together. So similar to the storyline they did, but just bring the family back together early, have them all having to stay in that house because of money before the anniversary party, and then you end up having a funny, like, Reese and Malcolm and Dewey, I'll get to that in a moment, sharing, and then Francis like in the garage with his partner, and then you can have Kelly and Leah like getting to know each other because obviously they become friends by the end of the show. But then also like Leah doesn't know this family that we all love as an audience, and their chaos, and she's not used to chaos. And I was expecting at the beginning, when we found the concept of her not knowing them, to like have scenes where she's getting to know them, like she's complaining at Malcolm for like coddling her and always like soft parenting, and she doesn't have a mother, so it's like if she was around that family more, you could get to see the dynamic of having like a grandmother in Lois, like that complete opposite, and then having the Malcolm kind of realising maybe Lois isn't completely unhinged. I love Lois, she's great, but I like that, like her way of parenting, not all the tactics because it's quite, but some elements, you know, a mixture of his dad and his mom, for example, of his parenting style, not necessarily just kind of trying to do the opposite because he liked doing the opposite. My other point that I did struggle with is I don't actually understand the point of recasting Dewey if you're not going to have him physically there. I read online, I don't know how true this is, that they kept him as a webcam like little joke because they were holding out that the actual, like the previous actor for the character, Erik something, would come back, and he obviously wasn't going to, and I just think that was such a loss. They should have just committed to recasting him, and respected the fact that the previous actor didn't want to come back. He was great. He was genuinely, the previous actor, he was great as Dewey, and I loved Dewey as a character. But if you're going to recast him, just go for it, or just write him out. There's already a lot of characters and a lot of siblings. Like, they could have done he is around the world touring, he can't make it back. But by keeping him there, but then he's also on webcam during the anniversary party. But yeah, the entire point of Lois and Hal going over to Malcolm to like basically drag him to this anniversary party because they were so offended he weren't coming. You've already got another son that's not coming. Why do you... Like, I know he's on webcam, but then if he's on webcam, he's not in a concert. So he could have got a plane. Don't quite get it. So... overall, I genuinely... the other point as well is... I'm not criticising Bryan Cranston because I love that man. Breaking Bad, amazing. Hal in the original show, amazing. And like Your Honor, I've watched him in a handful of stuff. And he was also amazing at this. But it felt at times that they were leaning very heavily into that talent because obviously such a big name, like a lot bigger name now. And I just think it misses the... It kind of tries to outshine the kids a little bit, and that they were like the main point. If you get it, so it just kind of. I mainly wanted the family to be around each other. Just didn't feel like it happened enough. My favourite scenes are Reese, Frances, Lois being around each other, but you mainly had Lois off doing errands by herself, Hal on drugs talking to himself in a room. Again, Bryan Cranston's amazing, but that were quite a lot of episodes. That for me is like the Gilmore Girls revival musical. It's like we liked the town B plots or C plots in Gilmore Girls. I didn't need 20 minutes of it in one fell swoop. It felt forced at times, and I feel like this storyline just kind of felt a little bit like because I know they probably did stuff like this in the original show, and they did have these weird little plots. So it's not like out of turn. It's just you've only got four episodes. You've got a lot to get through. So yeah, and I think I also had a little look online afterwards because it was very noticeable that yes, they're doing a revival, but the cast, it did seem side plotty. And Frankie Muniz, basically his schedule was quite tight, so they had to film a good chunk of his stuff separate, I guess. Which it's like, well, if you can't have him around the cast loads because he's racing, then doesn't feel like it was the right time. I feel like they thought they had to do this because of how many years since the original show. Because the whole 20-year anniversary, so it was like now or never, but I don't necessarily think it was the right time, as they say on interviews, if you can't have all the cast fully commit the time to filming together, essentially. So yeah, I liked Kelly, I liked Leah, but they were good. I liked the dynamic. I do actually kind of even wish Jamie were in it a bit more, but you know, his bits were quite amusing. I would have preferred, like, if he's going to be like a side character, fair enough. Dewey would have been much more appreciated, having that like core group back together. And then what was my other points? Oh, so yeah, I think overall I would probably say the original show, absolute class, gold star, keep rewatching. The revival probably wouldn't. I do feel like the emphasis on the new characters and their storylines makes it feel like this was actually more of a backdoor pilot. So I don't know if they do backdoor pilots these days, but I remember it was quite an early 2000s thing. So like Gilmore Girls did have a backdoor pilot. I don't like that episode. And then Grey's Anatomy again had a 2-part backdoor pilot. I don't like that episode. Sorry, my dog's grumbling. Because it always breaks the pacing up. You're trying to introduce a whole new story, so they give that a lot more runtime. That becomes the A plot, and then your main storyline, the previous episode essentially, becomes B plot. So it just breaks it up. It makes it just a bit like, all right, let me fast forward back to the point. And that's kind of how I felt sometimes with this, with these new characters. Not that they weren't good, they were really good. It's just I'm in there for the nostalgia, so I wanted to watch more of the old, and it just feels like they were trying to pad it out more and more with the new. So overall, I think it was good acting. Oh, I didn't like the sets that much. It did feel a bit the Netflix lighting kind of vibe these days. Kind of took away the grit. I want more. I want more style between shows, if that makes sense. Like, it don't have to be gritty or older looking. I just think you should be able to put a show on and like gauge the vibe of that show. But everything looks so generic. My partner described it as like it just felt like a skit, like a Malcolm in the Middle skit. Which, when you look at it, if you muted it and were just looking at the lighting, you'd probably like, yeah, it just feels a little bit too stagey. And then my other little gripe is probably the theme song. They had it in the trailer. They had a little snippet of it for the title card. But why not do an opening credits and just remake it with a lot of some of the old clips and some of the new clips from the new series? So you like bringing the next generation into it and you're having that fun nostalgia, and then everyone gets like hyped for the episode. Didn't have that hype. Because and I thought they were going to use it in like the last episode. I thought that had been a good, nice little Easter egg, like nostalgia scene, but they didn't use it for the last episode. And they didn't so it just kind of felt like they could have had it when everything was going crazy at the anniversary party. They could have had a little montage of everything, just like all the glitter going everywhere and be like, you're not the boss of me now. But they didn't do that, so obviously. So yeah, I say so a lot. I enjoyed it and don't think it was a waste of time, but I wouldn't go back to it, essentially. I just don't think there was. I think elements of it were rushed. I could see what story they were going for, but I think scheduling and production probably watered and diluted it down a lot more. And I do think the series needed to be a bit longer to get your teeth into some of the stuff they were setting up. That's kind of my overall view. It was basically, it just felt like a backdoor pilot. And if that is the case, I don't think any of the backdoor pilots have ever convinced me. Like, I say that, the Jess one never got greenlit, but it didn't pull me in, essentially. If you were going to just do a new show, just commit, do a new show. So yeah, that was it, essentially. So if you like this video and you agree, maybe give me a like. If you disagree, maybe leave me a comment and tell me why. And if you would subscribe, that I'd be also really appreciated. I am at 82, I believe, today. I'm slowly climbing to 100. So it'd be really appreciated if you could support the channel. That being said, I hope you have a good day and see you in the next one. Bye!